Hello students. Now, in this session of metals and non-metals, we are going to discuss about a very important reaction of how copper reacts with HNO3. If you remember, हम लोग ने बोला था copper is less reactive than hydrogen and therefore it won't react with acids. But then copper shows a reaction with HNO3. तो हम लोग इस वीडियो में will precisely see as to why copper reacts with HNO3 and how does it materialize. Okay, so let's start with the reaction. The very first thing what we need to understand is when copper reacts with HNO3, the HNO3 that you have taken is concentrated HNO3. And बच्चों please ध्यान रखना, concentrated HNO3 is a very good oxidizing agent. Okay, so he is a very good oxidizing agent. Now, an oxidizing agent, so obviously what he would do is he would oxidize your metal. Okay, आपने कौन सा metal लिया है इस दफा? आपने लिया है copper. So what is first step that is going to happen? हम लोग पहले लिख देते हैं and then we'll write down the reactions also. So step 1 में क्या होगा? Your copper will get oxidized to copper oxide. Okay, copper gets oxidized to copper oxide, that is CuO. अच्छा, अब ना देखो ध्यान से, हम लोग ने बोला था कि कॉपर कैनॉट रिएक्ट विद द एसिड, बट देन वी नेवर सेड कि कॉपर ऑक्साइड कांट रिएक्ट विद एसिड. कॉपर ऑक्साइड तो रिएक्ट कर जाएगा ना यार, कॉपर रिएक्ट नहीं कर सकता लेकिन कॉपर ऑक्साइड कर सकता है. सो नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन इन स्टेप 2, जैसे आपका नॉर्मल मेटल ऑक्साइड का रिएक्शन होता है, स्टेप 2 में वही रिएक्शन होगा. अच्छा, क्या होगा? तो यू हैव कॉपर ऑक्साइड and this copper oxide is now going to react with your acid, that is obviously HNO3, and this time it's going to give you what? It's going to give you salt and water. Okay, अब हम लोग देखते हैं कि ये रिएक्शन याद कैसे रखे, and we will also see how exactly this reaction progresses. Okay, don't worry about it, it's very simple bache, it's very simple. Okay, so let's see the step 1 of the reaction. Let's use a different color ताकि आप इसको justify कर पाओ. Okay, step 1, let's see. Okay, सबसे पहले क्या होगा? हमने लिया copper, to this we added 2 HNO3. Okay, what you are going to get, you are going to get copper oxide, plus along with this you will get 2 NO2, plus you will get H2. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब इसको याद कैसे रखे? देखो, याद रखना भी बहुत सिंपल है, ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दिस, इट्स वेरी सिंपल. आपने क्या लिया? आपने लिया कॉपर प्लस आपने लिया HNO3. ओके, अच्छा कितना HNO3 लिया है? तो 2 HNO3 लिया, सो HNO3. ठीक है, लेट मी राइट डाउन कॉपर ऑन दिस साइड. ओके, सो दैट चीजें समझना थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाए अपने लिए. अच्छा, अब होगा क्या? देखो सर, सबसे पहले तो कॉपर ऑक्साइड बनेगा, मतलब दिस कॉपर एंड दिस ऑक्सीजन आर गोइंग टू रिएक्ट टू गिव यू कॉपर ऑक्साइड. अच्छा, देन सर देन NO2 बनेगा, तो ये NO2 एक बार, ये NO2 दो बार, ये दोनों रिएक्ट कर जाएंगे या ये दोनों फॉर्म हो जाएंगे. अच्छा, नाउ व्हाट आर यू लेफ्ट विद? एक बार चेक करो, व्हाट आर यू लेफ्ट विद? देन यू आर लेफ्ट विद ओनली 2 हाइड्रोजन्स एंड 1 ऑक्सीजन. अच्छा, 2 हाइड्रोजन और 1 ऑक्सीजन मिलके क्या बनाएंगे यार? वाटर ही तो बनेगा, इससे ज्यादा क्या बनेगा? एंड देयरफॉर आपने देखो रिएक्शन क्या लिखा. लेट्स राइट डाउन द रिएक्शन वन मोर टाइम. ओके, व्हाट हैव यू रिटन इन द रिएक्शन? चेक करते हैं. हम लोग ने लिखा रिएक्शन में that is Cu plus HNO3. First it gives you CuO, copper oxide. Along with that it would give you 2 NO2 molecules. Along with this you would get 1 molecule of H2O. And I hope आपको पता चल गया होगा how to remember this reaction. And आप अगर let's suppose reaction exam में भूल भी जाते हो तो आप इस तरीके से आप उस रिएक्शन को जनरेट कर सकते हो. सो दिस वाज द स्टेप 1 ऑफ द रिएक्शन. ओके, व्हाट वुड हैपन इन स्टेप 2? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट आल्सो. इन स्टेप 2, if you notice, now as we explained earlier, copper can't react with acids. Hey, lekin copper oxide, he can react with an acid, right? So now what's going to happen? Let's see. You have copper oxide. To this, you are adding again 2HNO3 to give you what? Metal oxide plus acid gives you salt plus H2O, or salt plus water. And over here, again, you will get same thing, CuNO3 twice plus H2O. Okay, once again, a question comes, how to memorize this equation? Okay, or rather, could you give us a shortcut to remember this equation? Absolutely, yes, we can do that. Let's see. Once again, what all things you have? You have copper oxide, so CuO, treated with HNO3 two times. So HNO3. Okay, now what's going to happen? Let's see. Over here, सबसे पहले copper and NO3 the whole twice. मतलब NO3, this NO3 is going to react. So both of these NO3s are gone. Hey, what is left? We are left with one oxygen and two hydrogens. So will you get water as a byproduct? Absolutely, yes, you will get water as a byproduct. Finally speaking, let's see what would happen if you add up both the reactions. Okay, let's try to write down the final reaction over here. So what would be the final reaction? Let's try to understand. The final reaction is the reaction obtained by adding both 1 and 2. So if you add both 1 and 2, what all things you can see on the left hand side? Let's see. You can see copper plus copper oxide plus 2HNO3 in the first step, 2HNO3 in the second step, and this would total become 4HNO3, giving you what is there on the right hand side. It gives you CuO plus it gives you CuNO3 the whole twice plus it gives you 2NO2 and it also gives you 1 and 1 water, so it gives you 2H2O. Okay, just check, my dear students, is there anything that you can cancel out from both the sides? Then yes, absolutely. See, over here CuO and this CuO can get cancelled off from both the sides, and therefore what becomes your final equation? Let's write down the final equation over here. The final equation will become Cu plus 4HNO3 gives you CuNO3 twice, that is copper nitrate, plus along with this you will get 2NO2 gas, nitrogen dioxide, plus you will get 2 water molecules. Now over here, just try to understand, copper usually doesn't react with any acid, but then why is it reacting with nitric acid over here? Because the very first thing what you need to remember is that the nitric acid that you had taken was concentrated. It was acting like a very good oxidizing agent. So in the first step, उसने कॉपर को क्या किया? उसने कॉपर को ऑक्सीडाइज किया इनटू कॉपर ऑक्साइड. अब कॉपर रिएक्ट नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन कॉपर ऑक्साइड एसिड के साथ जरूर रिएक्ट करेगा. And if that happens, then what you will get? You would get a corresponding metal oxide, sorry, you will get a corresponding metal salt plus water. And therefore, this becomes your final equation. Acha, is there anything more that you need to remember in this equation? Absolutely, yes. And that is with respect to your board exams. So let's try to jot down a few points which are important with respect to your term 1 MCQ board exams. So what are the important points over here? The very first important point that you need to remember is that the copper nitride that we have formed over here, CuNO3 whole twice, this salt is blue in color. Okay, point number 1. Because it contains copper 2 plus, copper 2 plus are usually blue in color, so it's blue in color. Okay, next up, the NO2 gas that you have produced over here, this NO2 gas is reddish brown or maroon. Sometimes it is referred as maroon color. Okay, in exam you might also get, instead of reddish brown, they would simply give you maroon color. So even that is right. Okay, so don't bother about it. So here 2 colors are important. First is copper nitrate, which is blue in color, and second one is NO2, which is reddish brown in color. Fine. So with this, we finished down the discussion of how exactly copper reacts with HNO3, even though it is lower in the reactivity series as compared to hydrogen. That's all with this module, my dear students. We'll meet up in the next module. So then, thank you, students. Happy learning and best of luck for your exams.